Professor. For the final project, I chose the environmental sustainability prompt. The prompt was asking to create a user interface for home automation system to promote sustainable living and help users control their appliances more effectively and to reduce their environmental impact. So one of the big problems with such a system like this is that users have a lot of systems that are highly technical in their house. So it's more so about providing users the ability to manage their systems and take the cognitive load off of them. And the whole goal is energy management, so understanding the systems that are being connected to and their energy kind of like specifications, and then being able to manage that, right? So for the project goals, there's two main ones, which is given all of the things that users have to manage, how do you make it a lot easier for them to understand so they don't have to be as technical? And then actually, since we're monitoring energy efficiency of other systems, we have to ensure that the systems that we're creating is energy efficient as well. And one of the important factors of that is like update frequency of how often energy efficiency is being monitored, and whether systems can be turned on and off, and whether the system that we're maintaining can provide that information in the most effective way. So to get the system functional, there's two main views that the system's being broken down into. A sort of high-level view that gives an overview of all of the systems and just general health of how efficient they are being, and whether they're being as efficient as they're kind of marketed as, or whether they can increase efficiency or stuff like that. And then low level of, given a specific system, what are all the technical details of the system configuration, low level like interactive features in order to use the system and manage the efficiency of it. And when you're managing the efficiency, that kind of breaks down into two. There's sort of a manual mode where you can monitor and apply all the specifications. Like if you want to set times for systems to turn on and off, you can do that manually. You can set it on schedule, or you can like set like a high efficiency, low efficiency, like performance sort of mode for systems manually, or you can do an autonomous mode, which is where this system gets a baseline of how you're using like the systems in your home, the home systems, and gives a good anomaly detection almost mode of like when things are being used out of like more often than not, then it'll alert you. Or if you want it to automatically manage, like during the night, turn things off, or like put it on a lower energy consumption level, you can do that as well. And the other feature is like remote monitoring, so being able to manage all of this information from anywhere you are, no matter if you're there or not. So there's a funny story that I have of people going on vacation and they're worried about like water systems breaking and just like electricity turning off, and then their house becomes like, you know, not as efficient or like functional as they would like to. So this would kind of give them the ability to monitor their system from a remote location, give them kind of peace of mind when they're not at home, so know that things are kind of working as expected. And when you have that feature, one of the things that comes into play is security, and making sure that the system's secure so that they can, what's it called? Like so that the hackers can't get into their system. One of the big concerns, right, is that with everything being IP enabled, internet enabled, that hackers can get onto systems and wreak havoc, you know, spy on people and mess with systems and stuff like that. So making sure that they have that security given the function of being remotely monitoring. So getting into the first screen we have here, this is like the welcome screen. It's the overview screen, the high level of like at the top. There's like the overall health of all the systems, and per system you'll have like individual health status of like this is how efficient it's being relative to the baseline, or how it's marketed, or relative to your goal of how efficient you want it to be. And then if anything's looking bad, you can like view or edit it, and when you click on that, it'll take you to a system page. And then also at any time you can add a new device, and there's settings, but I don't really know what those are right now, so future work. So when you're adding a new system, you'll have the details of the system, like manufacturing, how to connect to it, whatever the interface looks like to actually pull the details from it. And then you can add a description if you want to like have more information about what's going on. The second thing is energy efficiency plan. So being able to specify, like I was saying, on schedule, manually, or autonomously, managing and monitoring the efficiency of the system and making sure that it's all working as expected. So once you have all the information inputted, then you'll like add the system, and then it'll show up on the other screen. So once you have a system added and you want to click on it to get all the details, it'll give you the specific efficiency level for that system, and then for details, it'll tell you like the current energy consumption, all of the technical details, whether it's like a refrigerator or microwave or whatever appliance it is. You'll be able to see whatever the details are for that specific system. And actually on the other screen before this, that would be something you're inputting, so low fidelity, but you know, all the details are there. And then system configuration is once you have a system and it's like has some configuration, if you want to change it from manual to autonomous or put it on a schedule or do whatever, all that configuration would be on this page as well. And then again, if you want to delete this, if you either change the system or get a new system or upgrade the system or whatever, you can delete it, re-add it, or otherwise edit it on the screen as well. So this was specifically to get user feedback before I created the design, but since this was rapid prototyping and all of it was kind of like on call, these questions kind of still apply of like, for users using existing systems, what do they find good or bad about their system, and comparing that to the new design that I made, and if there's anything missing or if there's anything that they would use in terms of like what they're doing now and they don't see it in the system that I like we're creating here. And specifically for users who have an existing system, what would motivate them to switch systems, and how do I add that into the design that we have so far? For users without systems, it's more like, do they actually have smart appliances? Why don't they have a system? And how do they currently manage all their systems, whether they're smart or not? And then what would motivate them to adopt a new system in the future? And then for reflections, it was more so about like what design principles we used, and just overall lessons learned from doing this final exam. So I like going over human ability, what it is that we're capable of and what we're trying to solve in terms of giving people a lower cognitive load and being able to augment their memory and attention span so that they have a system that manages energy efficiency for their home so that they don't have to think about it for themselves. And then rapid prototyping, obviously this was super rapid, but having a sort of baseline and then evolving it with more user feedback. And then I kind of just went through a cognitive walkthrough when I explained the prototype, so that's that. And then surveys and questions, obviously the last screen that I had was going over the questions to get feedback for this type of design. And iterative development, it's supposed to be, you know, small iterations, and that allows you to be agile and bring in new features as needed. And one of the biggest like lessons learned, or just like good things, just practice more on being able to put yourself in your users' shoes, and just like being able to understand their perspective, and as a user figure out what's the best thing to create. So this was really interesting as a final exam, but I think it was a great practice in general, and it was pretty cool, but I wasn't expecting all this, so thanks, Professor. Hope this all works out.